What's up, guys? Let's have a chat. Now, you're not in trouble or anything, but I want to talk about society and how society is from my perspective. Now, if you're not cool with that, you can click away. I'm sure there are tons of other videos you can be watching, but bear with me and stay with me if you want to talk about this. Now, I'm going to start with heavy stuff. And you're probably not going to like that, but just have faith in me. I will do my best to not insult you, to not offend you, to not hurt you, and I hope you enjoy this. So my thoughts are kind of typical of a 20-year-old white male. I'm Democratic. I bleed liberal. Now, I don't know how well this is going to go on the internet, especially in the comments, but I am liberal. I am very liberal. Whether you think that's a good or a bad thing, that's just where I am. So, I have a very liberal point of view, you know, on everything. There are very few things that I have somewhat of a conservative view on. Like, for example, I think gay people should be able to marry whoever the fuck they want. You want to marry a shoe? Marry a shoe. You want to marry your bed sheets? Marry your bed sheets. Like, as long as you're not hurting anybody, what's the difference? That's one thing. Let's get that. Let's get the homophobia out of the way. Homophobia is still a thing, and I did not know it was still a thing until I went to a different state. And it was blatant. Like, I went to a supermarket. I'm not gonna say where, but I went to a supermarket, and there was this gay couple, and everyone was looking at them weirdly. Like, you know, that kind of look, like, yeah, that face. Just imagine everyone in a single store making that face. I was like, wow, you guys are dicks. But it still happens. And my little mind, because it is little, my little mind just couldn't process that still happens. And, you know, I went up to them and I said, you know, you shouldn't let other people bother you. And they said the coolest thing. We don't give a fuck. And I'm like, good for you. Good for you. So that's my opinion, my thoughts on. I'm going to take this hat off because it's warm in here. And I was trying to use my hat to, like, cover up my bad hair, but I guess we just can't do that. So that's my thoughts on homophobia and, like, how homophobia is, like, still present. Another thing that's still present in our society, which is just how, is racism. And blatant racism, like outright, like right in your face, kind of like, yeah, I'm a racist, you know, kind of racism. And I did not, my suburban little mind did not know, because as I stated, I have moved to a new location, which is classified information because I work for the government. No, I just keep it classified or, secret because it's important to do so. Um, but since I moved and I have gone to this new place, I have seen racism, like up close and personal. And yeah, so I was at this bowling alley, filling out a job application, and this seemingly nice black person walks in, and the owner's face changes. Now, let me describe this this face change. It wasn't like the one where where the gay couple walked in. It was like a face of fear, and I couldn't understand why. Like, this person was like the African American person that walked in was smiling. He had like his buddy with him. They were obviously going to go bowl, but the owner's face just went from to in a matter of seconds, and I couldn't understand why. I was sitting there filling out this application, and I couldn't understand why. And then when I walked out of the bowling alley, because I had filled out my application, I gave it to the owner. I saw a white pickup truck with a Confederate flag on the license plate, and I'm like, oh. And the reason why I could tell that this was the owner's truck is because it was a nice truck. Now, maybe that's just an assumption, but if you are parked in the back and, that's where employees park, then, 10 to 1, that was his truck. So my little mind just got blown then too. I'm like, how does this still happen? Why? They're going bowling. They're not doing anything. They're smiling. What's wrong with you? Now, that's my take on racism still happening. Here is my take on sexism, which, hold your horses, this isn't going in the direction you think. Sexism is kind of a gray area now. It used to be very straightforward. It used to be equal rights, equal pay, because we're human. Then it changed into equal rights, more pay, because we're women. And we don't need no man. Now, I agree with the first part, with equal rights, equal pay, because we're human. I don't agree with equal rights, equal pay. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the more radical view of sexism, of feminism, I should say. Because there's two sides to every part of sexism. There's the obvious part of objectifying women and treating them like objects and, not giving them as much money as you would a male employee. There's also the other side of reverse sexism. Every man sees women as an object. Every man does this, and this, etc. You know what I mean. So it's something to look at. It's something to think about. And I hope that's what you can take away from this video. I've been Zach, and as always, I will see you in the next video I make.